We recommend that the installation of the system be performed by a quality service center or professional muffler installer who has the necessary equipment, tools, and experienced personnel. However, if you decide to perform this install, the use of a hoist and an additional person will be required. Caution: never work on a hot exhaust system. Allow time for the vehicle to cool. Please confirm that all parts are present before beginning installation. If something is missing, call tech support at 1-800-486-0999. Remove the factory tunnel undershield. The shield is secured in place by 24 bolts, including 2 larger bolts near the front of the shield. Use an 18mm socket and 3/8" ratchet to remove the 2 larger bolts, followed by a 13mm socket and ratchet to remove the remaining 22 bolts. Remove the 2 bolts securing the X-pipe hanger grommet with a 13mm socket, a 3/8" ratchet, and a small extension. This will allow the factory X-pipe section to droop. Set aside these bolts to be reused during the installation process. Loosen the clamp bolts at the X-pipe outlet using a 15mm socket and a 3/8" ratchet. Remove the 4 bolts that secure the factory X-pipe inlet flanges using a 15mm socket and a 3/8" ratchet. Carefully pivot the stock X-pipe section down at the inlet flanges and then forwards to free it from the vehicle. Carefully remove both of the factory donut gaskets using a small flathead screwdriver. Set aside the donut gaskets to be reused during installation. Remove the hanger grommet from the 2 hangers using grommet pullers or a similar device. Set aside the grommet to be reused during installation. Using a soap and water solution may make working with the rubber grommets easier. Insert the Corsa X-pipe hangers into the factory rubber grommet. The mounting bracket and the grommet must be oriented as shown, with the mounting holes facing forward and favoring the top of the assembly. Slide the factory donut gaskets onto the Corsa X-pipe inlet until they are seated against the flanges. Place the 2 2¾ clamps over the outlets of the Corsa X-pipe assembly, with the clamp bolts on the outside facing downward. Slide the outlet end of the X-pipe onto the axle pipes. Align the other end with the stock mounting flanges. You may want to support the assembly with a jack stand or similar device. Align the stock flanges and install the hardware with the M10 nuts on the downstream side of the connection. Leave the hardware loose at this point. Install the 2 bolts to mount the X-pipe hanger grommet. Make sure the mounting bracket is centered, then secure with a 13mm socket and 3/8" ratchet. At this time, remove any under supports. Tighten the 4 sets of M10 nuts to secure the factory X-pipe inlet flanges using a 15mm socket and 3/8" ratchet. Alternate tightening each side to keep the X-pipe assembly centered in the cavity. Verify that the assembly is centered by checking the clearances to the transmission and the X-pipe outlet. There should be at least a fingertip worth of clearance on both sides. Torque fasteners to 31 foot-pounds. Tighten the clamp bolts at the X-pipe outlet using a 15mm socket and 3/8" ratchet. Torque bolts to 45 foot-pounds. Reinstall the factory tunnel undershield. Secure in place with the 24 bolts set aside during removal. Use an 18mm socket and 3/8" ratchet to tighten the 2 larger bolts, followed by a 13mm socket and ratchet to tighten the remaining 22 bolts. Torque undershield bolts to factory specs.